Hello, friends and RC family. My name's Alec from High Noon Hobbies. If you're new to this channel, I very much appreciate you checking it out. Hope that you'll stick around, maybe watch another video after this and see if this content's worth your while. See if maybe you could even potentially give this channel a subscription. And if you did that, then I'd be able to say if you aren't new to the channel, I very much appreciate you coming on back and joining me for yet another scale crawling session. I hope that you guys enjoyed the kind of cinematic-ish intro for this one. This is part 2 of the Slut Crawlers Takeover of Sand Hollow from a few weeks back. Feels like just the blink of an eye, though. It's crazy how quickly this year is passing us by. It's a little scary, honestly. And obviously, weird times right now, scary stuff going on. But this is one place where I feel like I get to just relax and enjoy my happy place out on the trail and do a little bit of scale trucking, just kind of forget all of my one-to-one worries and focus on driving these scale trucks around. It's really the release that I feel like I need, and I'm sure it's probably something that you guys feel similarly about. Now, this week's video, if you didn't pay attention during the intro or you didn't catch the title of this video, is about this little truck right here that just went out of frame. This guy. Now, you're probably familiar with this truck if you've watched other RC crawling channels on YouTube, or maybe one RC crawling channel in particular. I think the guy's name might be Ding Dong. I can't remember for sure. Just kidding, but really this is Logan from West Desert Wheeler's old VS4-10 Phoenix. This is the body that he painted, the kit that he put together, and it might look a little bit different to you, and that is probably because of these wheels. These are CNC customs. These are really, really fat wheels, and they've completely changed the look of this truck, and I kind of like it. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to keep just in terms of performance, but they are doing pretty dang well right now. Now, in this video, they don't do super well, but I'm not going to blame the wheels or the tires for that. Well, I will. I'll blame the tires. But I'm not exactly blaming the tires. I'm just blaming the fact that they are literally brand new. As you can tell, they still have the little dot on the outside of them, and they are totally not scrubbed in at all. Actually, I had some troubles this morning. Ooh. Sorry about that. Actually, some troubles this morning getting this truck on the trail. I bought this from Logan about a week before we headed down to Sand Hollow, and he was kind enough. Hey, Mike. That's Mike from Sons of Crawl, part of the Slut Crawlers group. But I bought this truck from Logan about a week before we headed down to Sand Hollow, and I bought it as just a slider. So he took the Vanquish tires, or the Vanquish wheels and the tires that he had on it off. He took all of the electronics that he had in there out of it, and he left me with just the bare kit for me to throw new wheels and tires and new electronics into. So I, of course, wanted to get some good stuff for this, but I didn't want to go crazy. I didn't have a huge budget to spend on my electronics, and from talking to a bunch of you guys in the comments, and obviously from my own experiences, I know that the most important electronic is probably the servo, the steering servo. So for this truck, I decided to put in a NSD RC RS800 V2 steering servo, which is a direct power steering servo. And if you don't have experience with direct power, essentially all that means is that the steering servo runs off of direct power from your battery, and it doesn't draw voltage from your receiver, from your, I guess, a BEC, whether it be internal or external to the ESC. So a direct power servo pulls power straight from the battery, and because of that, as you probably imagine, is quite a bit more powerful, and or can be, I suppose. I won't say that 100% of the time it is more powerful, because there are, like the NSD-RC RS1, that is a non-direct power servo, but it still has a ton of torque. And so I won't say that necessarily all of the time, but generally speaking, direct power servos are more torquey than their non-direct power counterparts. So I put that servo in, I put in a Castle Copperhead 10 and a Castle 14 series censored brushless crawler motor, and I called it good. Finished that build at about 2 in the morning. I threw a battery on it and ran it around the house just to make sure that everything was working, and I promptly passed out. Unfortunately, before I passed out, I forgot to unplug the battery. So I woke up the next morning, and the battery was still plugged into the direct power servo. Now, if you do have any experience with direct power servos, you probably already know this, but if you don't, the one thing that you don't want to do is leave your battery connected to a direct power servo, because that's just going to be sending voltage through that servo the entire time that that battery's connected, regardless of whether or not your truck is powered on. So when I woke up the next morning and I saw that that battery was connected, I knew that I was probably going to have problems, but I hoped for the best. And of course, naively, I disconnected the battery, threw everything together, and, well, packed up for the trip and headed out. Once we got down here, I pulled the Phoenix out, I put a battery in it, and of course, no steering. So for this video, I am using a spare servo provided by the one and only T, the founder of the Slut Crawlers group. And so I want to say thank you, T, for allowing me to use your spare Amazon servo. It's not exactly a perfect replacement for the NSD, but it let me get this Phoenix out on the rocks in Sand Hollow, and I very, very much appreciate you allowing me to do that. I also want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to NSD-RC. I reached out to them as soon as we got back to Salt Lake from this trip, let them know what I did, and they were kind enough to provide me with a replacement servo at a discount. Obviously, they didn't do it under warranty, which I don't think that they should have, but the fact that they were able to work with me was really awesome, and I very much appreciate them for that. The customer service out of NSD-RC is fantastic, and I would recommend them to anyone looking for high performance parts, including high performance servos. They've got winch servos, and they've got steering servos. They've got a whole bunch of cool stuff, so check out NSD-RC. So this is the final line of the video, guys. This is a toughie. When you get to the top of this trail, it becomes very cracky, and you really have to work on your balancing act, so to speak, to get your truck up some of these cracks. This is basically the final passable crack in this little section that we're in right here. And you can see me working it and just not able to make it happen. Luckily, Logan from West Desert Wheeler picks up the camera here and starts giving me some spotting advice. So I will jump back into just the regular video audio so that you guys can hear his spotting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
Oh, there's your thumbnail.
Blowing it out there. It bounced out last night. What? You're ramping. Yeah, it was perfect. This is
Find it. Maybe I won't find it.
A little bit less steering into it, just a little bit less on the steering.
Just let it.
But it's like you're playing Halo with
I like your paint job choice.
Hey, thanks, man. Oh. It would help if the tires were scrubbed at all too.
Yep, right there. Passenger, passenger. Get that passenger front up balance.
Oh.